Welcome to another chilling episode on Sweet Nightmares. Tonight we delve into a tale of terror that will leave you breathless and haunted. Imagine a peaceful camping trip turned into a nightmare by a beloved pet. This is the story of the Possessed Pitbull. It all started when I decided to take my loyal pit bull Jax on a camping trip. Jax had always been my protector, my best friend. The woods were our escape from the bustle of city life. The first night was calm. We sat by the campfire, the crackling flames casting eerie shadows around us. As I settled into my tent, Jax began growling, low and menacing. I peered out and saw his eyes, usually warm and gentle, now glowing a sinister red. Before I could react, he bolted into the forest, a terrifying growl echoing behind him. I grabbed my flashlight and chased after him, heart pounding in my chest. The sound of a struggle drew me deeper into the woods. When I reached the clearing, I saw it. A massive grizzly bear, thrashing and roaring. Jax was on top of it, tearing into the bear with a ferocity I'd never seen. Blood splattered the trees, and the bear's roars turned into gurgles. Jax emerged victorious, his mouth dripping with blood, his eyes still that horrifying red. I was frozen in place, too stunned to move. Jax slowly approached me, his gaze piercing through the darkness. He seemed different, possessed. That night, I couldn't sleep, haunted by the image of Jax and the dead bear. We returned home the next day, but things only got worse. Jax's behavior grew more erratic. He would stare into the dark corners of the house, growling at nothing. I knew something was horribly wrong, but I couldn't abandon him. One night, I awoke to the sound of breaking glass. My heart raced as I grabbed a bat and crept downstairs. 3 armed intruders were in my living room, rummaging through my things. I was outnumbered and outgunned, but Jax appeared from the shadows, his eyes glowing red again. Without warning, Jax leapt at the intruders, his jaws snapping with deadly precision. Screams filled the house as he tore through them, blood spraying the walls. The men tried to fight back, but Jax was unstoppable. I watched in horror as he ripped them apart, their lifeless bodies lying in a pool of blood. Jax turned to me, his fur matted with gore, eyes still glowing with that unearthly light. I backed away, terrified of the creature my beloved pet had become. I could feel his presence, dark and menacing, as he followed me up the stairs. Law enforcement officers were stunned to see such a gruesome murder scene, but I was not arrested on grounds of self-defense. I knew I had to end this nightmare. With a heavy heart, I made a decision that broke me. I grabbed my rifle and led Jax back to the woods, back to where this nightmare began. The forest was eerily silent, the memories of that night with the grizzly bear flooding back. Jax seemed to sense something, his eyes flickering between their usual brown and that haunting red. I stopped at the same clearing, the place where he had killed the bear. My hands trembled as I raised the rifle, tears streaming down my face. Jax looked at me, his eyes pleading, almost as if he knew what was coming. "I'm sorry, Jax," I whispered, my voice breaking. I squeezed the trigger, the gunshot echoing through the forest. Jax yelped, a sound that tore through my soul, and then he collapsed, lifeless. I fell to my knees, sobbing uncontrollably. The forest seemed to hold its breath, the silence deafening. I had lost my best friend, but I had ended the terror. That was the Possessed Pitbull, a tale of loyalty turned lethal, of a protector turned predator, and a heart-wrenching decision to end the horror. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more spine-chilling tales. Until next time, good night and sweet nightmares.